Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Let everybody file in here. Hope everybody's having a great day so far, depending on where you're at. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Ruchi, Ali, I'm just Jim, Zen, and at ATM Mobus 294. All right. Thanks everybody for joining us. Appreciate it. Give everybody another minute to file in here, and then we'll get going. Okay, let's go ahead and get going. Thanks everybody for joining us this morning. This is Michael coming to you from gammaedge.com. As you can see, our website here. Quick housekeeping, go to resources, newsletter. If you have not put your email in yet and you're new to joining us today, go ahead and put your email in there. This is how we contact you and provide you educational content on the weekends that go over our tools, our thesis, how we navigate the SPX option structure, and summaries for the week. If we do put those out. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. And then like and subscribe on X and YouTube. Obviously, you'll be notified when we go live with our pre-market prep or afternoon. And then if we post any of the content throughout the day. So good morning, please. If you can send an email because I send several in replay and no answer. Luciano, I'm not sure where you're trying to contact us at, but if you go to gammaedge.com, you can contact us there, or send me a DM on X. Okay, send me a DM on X, and I'll get back to you. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right into it. The market trend model, we're going to cover those three pillars: sentiment, structure, and trend. And we'll start with our market trend model, obviously based on the tick index. Again, the tick or the market trend model is separated into three time frames. Bolded white line is your intraday instantaneous cumulative tick. So if you're a 0DT trader, short-term swing trader, good morning, Dan, then you want to be following that. Again, if it is from upper left to lower right, obviously more selling in the overall market. We did see a slight bounce yesterday from the 10 o'clock to around the 2 o'clock hour, and then we started rolling back over in the cumulative tick. We were not seeing with our dashboard I posted last night, we were not seeing the out of the money call speculation come in. We were not seeing call slopes positive to the upside. So we're not seeing call speculators come into the overall structure. So sustaining that move back to the upside was going to be difficult. And then we rejected right into 7,500 multiple times, where we talked about in our pre-market prep yesterday. So make sure you check that out. It's a mosaic approach. The market trend model is telling you what's happening instantaneously, buying versus selling the overall market. And then when you layer in our new dashboard, you can see where speculators within the overall structure are placing their bets, if you want to say, or where they're speculating at. And we were not seeing that speculation higher. So a sustained move to the upside was going to be difficult. And then actually we saw the put slope rise a little bit, and then actually started to get a little bit more negative right into the middle of the day. So put speculation was coming in lower strikes. And then we started moving back to the downside, and we actually tagged that lower spaghetti model that I posted last night. All right. So where is the new dashboard within Discord? It's in our app. So if you go app.gameedge.us, I'll show you in just a second, Michael. All right, moving on to the, go back to here. These 3 time frames, the railroad track momentum moving averages 1 to 3 day. It continues to the downside. It tried to start to curl up to the upside, but got rejected yesterday. So that's going to be your first indication that the market is starting to improve, is the bolded white line stays above the railroad track momentum moving averages, and then momentum moving averages start moving to the upside. Caveat is our 1 to 3 week trading time frame is continuing to move lower. So this could indicate that we're going to have a move lower in the overall market on a sustained longer term time frame. Historically, when we bounce up into the colored ribbon, we'll be at an inflection point with the bolded white line. Our cumulative tick, we'll see a rejection or acceptance. Either we'll move above the colored ribbon, start moving through and above. That will indicate we'll start turning our mechanical portfolios back on and putting new money to work, or we'll see a rejection. We could see a longer term move to the downside. Yesterday, the filtered cumulative tick indicator, institutional plus 1,000 minus 1,000 larger block orders, was trending positive, but then we really hit that cap on price at 7,400, and we started seeing the speculation drop off, started seeing puts come in, and then we moved back to the downside, and we actually crossed below the 0 line. So institutions were, again, selling positions into the afternoon. So we'll see how that plays out today. Okay, moving on, the SPX, largest, most notional value options complex. We separated SPXA from the SPXP. SPXA is your institutions and the path continuity for the next 3 months. So we have pretty good confidence in overall positioning and direction for July, August, and September. We are still call dominated above and below spot price. 7,300 to the downside. I've really been pounding that level and preaching that level. If we stay above 7,300, we're still in a constructive environment. We move below 7,300, I think we're going to have a little bit larger pullback in the overall market. Really, that's that dividing line in the sand via the in the money calls and out of the money puts. Okay. And then we have half levels in here and quarter levels that are probably, these are going to be important, and they're inflection points. And then to the upside, 7,400 is looming large now for the 3 month standpoint. If we get above 7,400, then that puts these in a supportive force position. Your calls will become in the money, puts will become out of the money, and charm decay for those for the next 3 months would be supportive, and those will continue to grow through time. And then to the upside, 7,500 looming large there, 80,000 contracts for the call OI versus put OI. So again, if we overtook 7,500, again, that would just be another supportive force below us that we would recover. Again, that's going to be difficult for the moment to get above, but in a longer term perspective, that's where we need to get above and stay above. And then we're within the overall transition point. Obviously, we'd want to get above transition to the top of transition, which is up towards 75, I think, 7,600. And then again, that would be supportive also. So as of now, we're within transition. This is going to be extremely choppy. And those positions to the downside, as long as we're above, will be supportive. Positions to the upside will be headwind. So again, we could be locked between 7,300 and 7,500 for a little bit amount of time here with the choppy price action into the July OPEX, which I'm showing here. Again, 7,500 overhead, that's PGEX. Again, that's highest call convexity sensitivity level, and it's the top of transition. So we at least need to get above 7,500 into the July OPEX to have supportive forces and the opportunity for price appreciation. As of now, that would be your headwind to the upside if we get up to towards that point. And then you see the 74, 74.50. Again, those will continue to be headwinds until we overcome them. And then 7,300 is indexed to the downside. My anticipation is we'll be contained within 7,300 and 7,500 into the July OPEX unless we see a significant move to the upside. That's my kind of thesis at the moment, heading into the end of June. Historically, seasonality, June is a weak month, and that's what we're seeing. Usually to the end of June, into the beginning of July, we'll start seeing a reprieve and price appreciation. Whether that comes to fruition, we don't know. But first, we'll start seeing it in the SPX option structure, market trend model first, then the SPX option structure will start to improve. A lot of these puts will start to go away, or they will be pushed out of the money. And then you see some out of the money call speculation come in, which we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. SPXP upper quartile, again, put dominated above and below spot price. Bottom of transition is in confluence with that 7,400 level. So at least need to recover the bottom of transition. Then we'll start moving into a little bit more choppy environment. To the downside, we have supportive forces at 7,350 and 73, all the way down through 7,300. As long as we're above these levels from charm decay standpoint, those will be supportive. Okay. I think we've laid that out pretty well. SPXP GEX ratio, this is like a put call ratio, but we had a time component. So this is more weighted towards short dated call versus put gamma. And again, I talked about that inflection point yesterday at 0.5. Historically, we'll see a bounce there. We got that kind of dragonfly, not really doji, but kind of doji yesterday. I would like to see that closed in the middle of the range. It closed in a little bit bottom portion of the range from a technical standpoint. And we're starting to see a positive slope now on the GEX ratio. That, again, that was indicating most likely we saw some put monetization into those lower levels. Now, does this continue to the upside and get back above the 1 level, indicating back above that theoretical balance point between calls and puts? Or do we get rejected and move back to the downside? We see significant more put speculation come in than call speculation. So really at an inflection point, I think from a price perspective, from a SPX option structure perspective, and really for the market, we're at an inflection point at that 7,350, 7,300, and 7,400 overhead. So we'll watch those. Again, if we see SPX rising, you want to see the GEX ratio rising. That's indicating that out of the money call speculation is overriding the put speculation, and we're seeing speculators step in and put more positive delta into the overall speculation into the overall structure. Okay, SPXP delta balance. Again, this is separating the left-hand plane, which is in the money calls, out of the money puts, below spot price, which is the red dotted line. Right-hand plane here, this is your out of the money calls. That's your speculation, as well as in the money puts overhead. Those in the money puts need to see some fear from price appreciation to monetize. And again, we're seeing this basically stay stagnant into the end of June. We've talked about that, that the projection was most likely weakness into the end of June. And then we could see some price appreciation. That's June 30th. That would be the end of the month. And then we head into July. So again, that's kind of where we're looking when we start to see possibly an overall movement back to the upside, mean reversion. We're going to see some choppiness through the rest of this week and possibly some weakness here as you see the delta balance down at -1. All the planes are getting pulled below 0. So again, that tells you that speculators are in put dominated control. Okay, now this could change. If we recover 7,400, we start to see out of the money call speculation come in. This is spot price sensitive, so we'd start moving to the upside. We'd shove some of those in the money puts out of the money, probably see some monetization, and we start capturing some out of the money calls to the upside and force those in the money. Then we could see this overall delta balance start changing sooner than the end of the month. But that's the projection as of now, where speculators are going to be moving through the end of the month and then on out into July. SPXP net stack command, high sensitivity levels for today. Obviously, we do have in the money calls below us now. So this is called a locked horns condition. So in the money calls here, in the money puts overhead. Again, its price appreciation is going to be difficult, even though that 7,600 is a significant strike away from spot price at the moment. It's going to continue to exert its force overhead once we move up into that area. Again, you see transition 75.68. Net charm level 7,350. Again, we already talked about that. Out of the money puts, the left-hand plane integral there. As long as we're above 7,350, that will continue to be supportive throughout the day from a charm standpoint. Overhead, out of the money calls. So it's good. We're out of the money calls, out of the money puts now. But 7,450, those out of the money calls, those are going to continue to exert its force as they decay throughout the day from a charm standpoint. and those will be your headwind at 74.50. Net gamma 7400. Obviously, if we get above 7400, we can add a little bit more fuel to the fire. That's why I said that'll push us up towards 74.25 most likely. You see the transition point there in the left-hand plane from out of the money puts to in the money calls. So that most likely would be that next stalling point overhead. And then net Vanna, we do have a net Vanna tailwind. If we got above 74.50, again, that's probably going to be a significant far distance today, unless we see a drop in volatility and out of the money calls come into the structure. And that's where we would look for our intraday tools, our spec chart, our volume chart, and our Vol-D chart to look for out of the money call speculation coming in with that new dashboard. Okay. SPX P0DT for today. We're put dominated above and below spot price, but we're only at negative net GEX, negative 2,000. So not significantly entrenched like we were before, but we're all the way down to 73.76. So that net GEX is going to be up significantly now because I forced the spot price when we're close to the transition. You can see where we continue to get rejected at 7,400, and then 73.50 to the downside is going to be the next inflection point. Most likely supportive forces there, but if we lose 73.50, I'd anticipate a move down towards 73.25 and 7,300. So those are your inflection points for today. If we recover 7,400, we could have a quick move up towards 74.20.25. If we get over 74.25, then we'd be looking for 74.50. So that's the trading thesis for today, kind of your overall landscape and structure that I'd be looking for. And then obviously we'll have to see what new speculation comes in on a 0DT basis, whether we're seeing puts come in down towards the 73.50 level, or we're seeing calls come in at the 7,400 and higher. So those are going to be important. Okay, Michael, to your point, the dashboard is right here, app.gameedge.us. If you just punch in that, you'll go here, you click on the volume dashboard, which is the tab, and this gives you all of our tools in the volume dashboard for today. For yesterday, and then it'll update at the open. So again, you can see the spaghetti model yesterday. The speculation started at 74.50, and then the slope continued to decrease. We saw a slight elevation in the call slope here, slight positive, but could not get above zero. And then we started seeing the negative slope here. That'll help you identify that better. So in the 12 o'clock hour into the 1325 hour, 1400 hour, we were rising here. And we just could not get above that 7,400 level. Tried to push above it here. You see 12, 1,300, and 1320.25 could not get above 7,400. And the speculation was fairly flat on the call slope. So again, upside appreciation was going to be difficult because we were not seeing speculators much higher. And you can see that slope there. Really, the C10, C50 line was not moving to the upside. And then we actually started seeing it decline. And that obviously is going to be in confluence with a price decline because speculators are starting to leave the overall structure and complex. And then you see your put slope start to drop. That means speculation is dropping via strikes, targeting strikes lower. And then you see the resultant price depreciation. So these tools are really invaluable intraday, understanding where market participants are speculating, whether they're speculating higher, speculating lower, where that overall trend is. And then if we start to see this trend start to drop off, that gives you a great opportunity to place a trade. I know a lot of people are placing a trade speculating of us not getting above 7,400 or closing above 7,400. And we had some excellent results yesterday that people posted in the Recap Our Wins channel in Discord. So they used the tools perfectly yesterday of how we should use those tools when we get into really the middle of the day and understanding if has speculation higher or speculation lower, or we're going to be contained. And honestly, we closed right between 73.93. Actually, we dropped off there, and at the end of the day, and closed between 73.75. So the key takeaway is upside was going to be very difficult to get above 7,400, even though we saw that early. But then we saw the speculation really start to drop off into the middle of the day. So just indicating that we were not going above 7,400. Okay, hopefully that helps with the tools. Let me know. Again, we could look at individual equities, but I don't think it's really I think it's kind of a action in futility at the moment because the market trend model, if you're looking for upside, the market trend model is indicating you should not be in long positions and not really looking for upside positions at the moment until we see a substantive change in the market trend model as well as the overall structure. We start to see this change to call dominated or at the very least the SPX net stack command becomes left-hand plane integral becomes larger than the right-hand plane integral. That would be indicating supportive forces compared to headwinds, and then you can have the opportunity for upside appreciation. But as of now, I think we've been preaching for the last week. I hope I've been very clear. Structure was weakening, market trend model was weakening. You should be in capital preservation mode. Hopefully, we've put all the tools in place and a commentary to help everybody stay on the right side of the market. If we have not, let us know. I'd be happy to change how my presentation is and let everybody know kind of what the structure looks like from upper quartile standpoint, the GEX ratio standpoint, delta balance. Really, all these tools really give you a complete picture of where the speculators are at and how to navigate the market structure. Okay, and again, most likely you're not going to see a significant price appreciation until we head into the end of June. So we're on the 24th. We got a few more days, the weekend, and then into next week. Okay. Again, could change if we see some geopolitical developments or market participants reach that really inflection point of taking put monetization, and we do not see the speculation continue to ramp up to the downside, then we could start seeing a durable low. But as of now, market still looks fairly weak. And 7,400 really is that key area. If we get above 7,400, I'd be slightly more bullish for a move towards 7,450, 7,500. Stay below 7,400, probably going to see a little bit more weakness. Okay, good inflection point area. Okay, thanks everybody for joining us this morning. Manage risk as always. Let us know if you need anything. Join us in the. Be happy to have you in the Discord with us. Join the Game Edge team. Click on the pricing tab. That'll take you to our WAP page. Thanks, TG. That'll take you to our WAP page. You can join us in the Discord. Our team is in the Discord trading with you. We cover individual equities. We cover SPX. We have our scanners for individual equities to give you the best opportunity for price appreciation from a option structure standpoint. And then we have weekly education also with our open mic sessions. Most of our team's been on vacation throughout the summer, though. Discord link, you click on the pricing tab, Ruchi, and that'll take you to our WAP portal. You can join the Discord. 14-day free trial, all the tools turned on. You can get the dashboard and our Discord tools also, depending on what you want to use and how you want to run them. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Make it a great day. See you later.